Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. My name's Tyler. Watching a game today between Nab's MBL40C and the Viper. Both of these guys playing as Huns. Nabs is here in red, Viper in blue. And this is a best of 3 game that these guys played against each other just a few days ago. And I think this is probably the most interesting game of the group, so I figured I'd show it to you. Alright, let's start off by looking at the maps here. We can see that M is here in red. He's got berries on the back and gold on the back. Also a stone in the back. And a very interesting wood line here. It looks like he could probably wall across the front here and maybe across here as well and have a really tight, safe gold berries, both of his stone piles as well, or one of his stone piles there. The Viper, on the other hand, has a little bit less of a good map. You can see that his berries are on the front, his stone's on the front. His main gold is way, way on the front. And it's also on a downhill slope. So that's not good for the Viper here in blue. He could possibly wall off across the back to at least guard one side of his base and maybe across here. But this front looks like it's going to be open for most of this match. So M with the slight advantage on his map, I would say. But the Viper is the better player, so it's all equal and fair, I suppose. We'll just watch here for a moment and see what these guys do with their wood lines. Okay, so M here on 3 villagers on wood, meaning he's probably not going to drush here. The Viper has 4, so we might see a drush out of the Viper. So we'll keep an eye on the Viper's scouting since we think he might be drushing. We'll see what he learns and where he might decide to send that drush. You can see his boar over here, and we'll just speed him up for a moment. The Viper getting a very nice view of his side of the map. You can see he hasn't even gone forward. He's on 16 villagers right now, and he hasn't even gone forward to scout his opponent. Also, you'll see the Viper not looming his villagers. This is very common for him lately to go up to feudal first and then get loom. Gives him a 1 villager advantage. Seems to be a smart play as long as you don't get drushed by your opponent. Coming forward here with the barracks, we can see that he's already taken 10 gold from that pile, even though we weren't watching, so we know he has enough gold to drush. Really scouting around to see if he can wall, I suppose, but now he's ready to go forward. He's actually got a militia here taking on the scout of M. In addition, he's scouting with his scout and is doing a little scouting with this militia, although this militia is 2v1 with wolves on him. So that militia is not going to do very much. He is chasing M's scout around with that militia, and it doesn't look like he's going to make a 3rd militia. So I think Viper's given up on the idea of actually drushing. He's already up to feudal, and it looks like he's just searching the map with his extra couple of militia. So doing a little scouting, not a true drush. And we'll watch him go up. The Viper on 25 minus those 2 militia. M on 23. He does not have the militia, and he is loomed. The Viper, we can see, is also loomed in this particular game. So I lied to you before. He's not always going up without loom. And we'll just fast forward for a moment and watch him go up. We can see that the Viper is really scouting the entire map. He hasn't looked very much at M's base. He doesn't know where he is yet. I suppose he's just found him here via this palisade. But he's doing very good scouting on the rest of the map, probably looking for those extra gold piles that he might need if this game goes long term. Meanwhile, we see M is up first, 2 villagers building a stable. The Viper, being up just slightly later, is going to put 3 on his. We'll see that M's stable is up for about 2 or 3 seconds before Viper's. So all in all, we should see a very close. Scout build. We can see that M lost quite a bit of hit points on his scout, while the Viper's is untouched at this time. You can see that M has taken advantage of his good map and walled everything in. He's going to be able to take this stone and this gold without any harassment at all, along with his berries. So he should be very safe against a scout rush of any sort. But we'll have to see how the game unfolds. We can see Viper here with 4 scouts. M coming forward with a set of 5 scouts and a spear. And it looks like M is going to try to push the action. He's got a spear up here as well, although it's already died. And actually, they're going to pass each other for the moment, like ships in the night. The Viper going below, M going above. Both guys sort of playing in the middle of the map, trying to defend a little more than attack, it would seem. And they're just going to push each other around for a moment. M sending another spear forward, trying to catch those scouts and get a few free hits in. Viper going double archery range at this point. M going with a single archery range. M's very safe here, so I was confused to see him make so many scouts. I thought he was going to play this defensively and go up to castle a little sooner. Getting a few hits with that spear. The Viper clearly outnumbered here in scouts. He's got only 4 there and 4 here as well. So playing a little defensively. Doesn't look like the Viper's trying to get in. He has scouted enough to probably know that M is fairly walled up. And we know he's fully walled up. Viper bringing in a couple of archers here, chasing away M's spear. M is on quite a few scouts now. It looks like 12 to me. Let's look at the number here. M has, stop moving, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 scouts. Viper is on 8 with 2 spears and 4 archers, and those guys are going to retreat a little, push each other around, see if they can get some free hits in. Those 2 spearmen down. M coming forward with these now bloodlined scouts. He just went up on bloodlines. Meanwhile, the Viper has not gone up with bloodlines, so M's scouts are going to be much stronger. They're going to run into this group of archers, though, and probably not survive. Looks like those scouts are sort of going down pretty quickly. But all in all, M is going to sort of win this engagement, take over this hill, and possibly put some pressure on Viper's gold. Viper quickly putting up a watchtower, which is a wise move. M is going to run around that gold and head toward the wood line. It looks like it will be walled up before he gets there, but he will get... Will he get a villager here? He will get 1 villager there. So M getting a villager from Viper, keeping the pressure on him, getting a little action here in the front, couple of spearmen, and he's going to push in and annoy these gold gatherers now, these miners. Keeping Viper on his defensive at the moment. These spears sort of sitting idly by. They're not going to be too good since the Viper's scouts have largely been taken off the field. You can see M is now up to castle. If we look at Viper, he's ahead of M. He's going to be up to castle first, and he's going to have a pretty good load of archers when he's ready. Looks like those are going to go down, actually. He's got 5, 6, 7 archers here, taking pressure from these scouts. I'm sure those will be upgraded very shortly. Here comes a knight out for Viper, and we can see that Viper is going to take advantage of being up to castle first and put a little pressure on M here with a couple of knights, a couple of crossbows. He's going to run into a very large group here of skirmishers, looks like 8, plus 3 more for M. So M anticipating crossbows, building skirmishers on his way up to castle. That's a very common strategy. And now that he's at castle, he's going to go elite skirmisher. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to have any skirms left by the time he gets there. But he is going to stick with that upgrade. He's got a knight and a cav archer out of his own. These skirms getting cut up. Only 4 left, 3 left now. But they are now elite skirms. So he's very early up on elite skirmishers. Meanwhile, if we look at the knights, we see Viper has defensive upgrades. M does not yet. M losing his spearman here, unfortunately, for nothing. And this knight will come in and clean up the pressure in the back of Viper's base. So all in all, M putting some pressure on, but only getting 1 villager that I noticed. So not exactly ideal. He's up with a university getting ballistics, as is Viper. Viper adding 2 more archery ranges in. That's going to put him at 4. M having 3 ranges at the moment and 1 TC. Viper here in the back trying to put some pressure on. Here comes those skirmishers, those elite skirmishers that we saw him building, and M coming forward with the town center. And it looks like M has the superior numbers, at least on this front, but the Viper does have a little bit more of an army waiting in defense. Meanwhile, M sort of hanging around with an elite skirm. We can see Viper taking gold north of his base, and the Viper still on 1 TC. Looks like it's time for a second. So M with a slight advantage in that he's going to have his town center up first, but he's building cav archers on many fewer ranges. He's just about to build his fourth, while Viper's had 4 for quite some time. The Viper with the score lead as well, even though he's down a villager, suggesting that he has more military. Also, M having lots of elite skirmishers, which may prove useful to him, but not exactly the best unit for raiding your opponent. Very good defensive unit. We can see M's whole army here, looking pretty formidable. Meanwhile, the Viper sort of doing the same thing, sitting in front of his base and waiting. He's going to wall up this front side. Maybe we'll see a wall across here as well. Maybe here. He could really close his side in if he wishes. His second town center is now up. Still taking wood on the back. Still taking gold on the front, and not terribly harassed there. He's done a very good job at protecting that front gold. Building these buildings at the top of the hill so that no one can fire down easily. And these two guys are sort of just pushing back and forth at each other. You can see M is now up on a 3rd TC. He's lost a couple of villagers here to Viper's raiding, and he's actually drawn his army back to deal with that small group. Not sure if that really helped him. He needs to do some raiding of his own, I think, to catch up. You can see both guys here are going to have ballistics, so they're going to be a little bit less dodging and ducking and a little more shooting. We can see those knights coming in. This looks like a pretty major engagement. We can see M is on +2 damage, +2 armor. Viper is on +1 damage, +1 armor for his archers, +1 defense for his knights. M has not upgraded his knights. So, relatively equal in that sense, that Viper's knights are a little stronger and M's cav archers are a little stronger. M here using these skirms to hopefully try to pick off a couple of cav archers for free. Looks like he gave away a couple of knights there, and Viper might have a minor advantage here. He is fighting on top of this hill, but both guys really avoiding the major battle. They are on the verge of it, but not quite there. M coming around the backside with some cav archers. Those are going to sneak out of Viper's view. He might get over here to do some raiding before Viper's 3rd TC gets up. Meanwhile, we can see M here coming in on the front, taking out a bunch of villagers on Viper's gold and putting some pressure on that, on Viper's ability to take gold. Viper, meanwhile, though, has this group over here that M does not know about, who are happily taking gold. We can see Viper trying to counterpunch, coming in here, not getting villagers, getting pushed back for the moment. Meanwhile, M has a few cav archers here poised to attack. They could come in and take on this wood line at any time. His big group over here is trying to run a little pincer move. Viper ran around this side of this cliffs. M ran around this side to try to catch him. It looks like he got a couple of his cav archers, but Viper is mainly here on the run. We can see another sort of pincer move here where M is coming from multiple sides trying to capture Viper. You can see Viper here with lots of knights coming in. He's going to get a couple of villagers here on the front who were building an archery range just a moment ago. He's going to stand on top of that hill and do some damage, it looks like. Possibly taking, it looks like he's focusing on the buildings a little bit here with his knights while using his cav archers to hold this hill. They're going to use that major damage advantage to take down M's cav archers. We can see Viper now on +2 damage, but still +1 armor. M on +2/+2, as always. Looks like this archery range is just about to go down, but Viper has taken his eyes off of it, so that's going to stand for the moment. And in the meantime, M is still pumping out elite skirms. He's got a pretty good group of them here. Those are going to be very annoying to Viper's cav archers. Unfortunately, they're not going to do very much to these knights here. Looks like Viper has a little bit more balanced of an army. You know, his knights are doing a really good job at really taking down tons of those skirmishers very quickly. But all in all, it looks like M will push the Viper back, and he will take these knights out. So Viper retreating for the moment. We can see M in the back with a small group of cav archers. All went down here, put some pressure on this TC, and he does have a cav archer here. Viper now countering that with skirmishers, and we can see Viper with a front castle as well. He's going to protect this gold and this gold with that one castle, which is very nice. We can see M is now up to Imperial. The Viper still in Castle Age, so he's going to have some catching up to do. Maybe Viper can use his advantage, not having spent so much on Imperial Age, to put a little pressure on. He's going to do that here with a couple of scouts. Just annoying M, not getting any villagers that I saw. And you can see that the armies here are Viper's army is much larger. So he's going to do some pushing at the moment. These skirmishers for M, though, these elite skirms have actually worked out fairly well, doing good at pushing the Viper's army back. You know, this would be an ideal time for Viper to raid. He probably knows that M is clicked up. He knows he has the bigger army. Right now would be the time to get in there and get some villagers. But you don't want to take on elite skirms with cav archers. It's just a waste. Meanwhile, M is here in the front with a very large group of elite skirms. They're being taken down by scouts. Viper pushing in the back of M's base, getting a couple of miners here, losing a few scouts of his own, but sort of camping out and waiting for his moment to jump in there. We can see heavy cav archer now from M, so that upgrade is going to give him a major advantage over the Viper. He also has +3 damage, +3 armor, so M in a very good, or +2 armor at the moment. So M in a very good spot to take on the Viper for the moment, while he has the Imperial Age buffs and the Viper does not. See him coming in here with 5 rams, 6 rams. Viper's going to try to defend that. M's going to use these elite skirms and heavy cav archers to take out these scouts. Meanwhile, Viper doing damage with 5 rams. Those are slowly getting taken out by scouts, but M's doing a very good job at defending those. You can see the castle here from Viper. Where is it firing? It looks like it's firing at those elite skirms, as it should be. The rams here now just getting upgraded to siege ram, having taken down a few military buildings from the Viper. Viper here defending with a mangonel. Looks like he's going to get a few of these rams, but maybe not before M gets his front castle here. Let's see if he gets it down. He does. These elite skirms holding up very well to the archers and skirmishers over here. More rams coming in from M. Viper still defending with these 2 mangonels, but they're not enough because the heavy cav archers come in and take them out. So M here with a very balanced military, and he's doing a lot of damage to the Viper at the moment. I'm not sure if he'll... That looks like he will get this second castle down as well. So M doing a really great job there. And there's the Viper with the GG. Taking down both of those castles with about 10 siege rams, you know, reinforced by a very large number of heavy cav archers and some elite skirmishers. And he really did a good job at keeping the pressure on the Viper's castles there while picking off those mangonels that the Viper was using to defend. And you can just see here he has this whole line of units that were coming in to help. So, all in all, a pretty good game between these two guys. As we talked about in the beginning, M had maybe the better map. He had some resources that were easy to protect, and he used that advantage to really put the pressure on Viper and eventually take away this front gold and what's left of this gold as well, and do some raiding. So, thank you all for tuning in. My name's Tyler, and I hope to see you next time.